Hi guys, welcome to Office Blokes React. I'm Office Bloke Dave.
Office Bloke Mike.
Office Bloke Daz.
Effectively, we are the Office Blokes. And Office Bloke Mike has been itching for weeks to tell you about our Patreon.
Oh, yeah. Is that because he crowd surfed and that's how he got the itch?
Well, someone's scratching the itch.
I think you're right.
Go on then, go to patreon.com and put Office Blokes React. It'd be great if you could support the channel like loads of other people. We've got different tiers on there, starting just £1.50. We've got exclusive videos on there. We've got Stormzy on, haven't we? It's exclusive to patrons and channel members only.
There's going to be a few a week now, isn't
But
there?
yeah, but we're going to do probably more music on there, aren't we, as exclusives?
Yeah,
Is that the plan?
A lot of the music stuff, because it doesn't really do... We don't get good numbers when we react to music a lot of the time. So it's better to just put it out for channel members where a smaller group of people are going to appreciate it. And, you know,
because a lot of people still ask for a bit of music, don't they? So, so that's what we'll do. We'll try that and see how it goes. So yeah, go and check it out.
Upping our game with all that a little bit, aren't we?
We are.
With, extra content, bonus content and stuff.
Yeah.
Right then, 10 things Europeans find strange about America.
I don't find anything strange about it.
Not sure about strange, Not off the top of my head, I can't think.
I think we've kind of. I mean, you lived there for ages, and then through the reactions and stuff, we've learnt so much more about the culture.
Yeah.
But also, we grow up with lots of the culture, the TV shows, news about America. So I'd be surprised if there's anything that's that weird.
There's one thing that always used to make me laugh. I remember one of our going on a trip with one of our colleagues from America, and I can't remember where we were. I think I've got a feeling we were in the UK, and we were going to see a really good customer, and he wanted to buy him a special bottle of whiskey or like a bourbon or something from where he was from.
Yeah.
And I went, yeah, I'll get it, because it's our customer, sort of like in the UK, and he's no, I'm going to get it. So it was one of them sort of things. Go ahead in the shop, and he puts the bottle on the counter. You got to remember, I think it was in England because I was in Wythenshawe. Right. And he puts the bottle on the counter like that, and the guy's dead slow, just goes like beep, and goes like £42. And the guy goes, fucking US dollars. And the guy looked at me, looked at him, and went, fuck's that?
Oh yeah.
And it was always sort of like, and he when we walked out, he went, I thought US dollars were accepted everywhere. I went, no.
They are in some countries though, aren't they?
Some countries you will, but you wouldn't be able to do it over here.
No, definitely not.
And most places in Europe, you probably won't get away with it.
Yeah.
But when I went to Santorini recently, I was on a boat and there was an American couple on there, and he said the same thing. He's like, they didn't even take me US dollars when I paid. I went, mate, they've got their own currency.
You're
know
in
that.
a different country.
Yeah, you're in a different country. Yeah, he's like, but I still thought they'd take US dollars. And I went,
I think it's countries with really unstable currencies that take the dollar usually, isn't it? Like some African nations.
Sometimes it's their main currency, isn't it? I think maybe a few places in Asia. Is it? I think
no, not US dollar.
No, I don't think. No. It's not the main currency anywhere.
Yeah.
I just think it helps bolster a currency.
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
It's just funny where this guy just looked at me and was like, fuck's that?
It's the reaction I would expect for someone in Wythenshawe.
Yeah, a nice taste of the British service industry, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fuck's that? Anyway, top 10 things Europeans find strange about America. Let's do this.
Cultural differences galore. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 things Europeans find strange about America. Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
We will.
Cowboy boots. It makes sense in America, but if like one of us walked in the studio wearing cowboy boots one day, we'd get absolutely massacred, wouldn't we?
With spurs on.
YMCA.
Texas hat. Stetson.
Yeah.
It's the boots specifically. There's always a guy who's like Richard Hammond on Top Gear wears cowboy boots sometimes, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And it's so out of place in this country.
It's like if you wear like a Stetson. I mean, I've seen people wearing them. Imagine going in a pub and someone, as soon as you walked in a pub with a Stetson, someone will go, "Where'd you fucking park your horse?" There'll be loads, one after the other.
Yeah, of course it would.
For this list, we're looking at things that are prevalent in America, but that are done differently in Europe. Of course, Europe is a large place, and we understand that not all of the customs, practices, or habits we're listing will feel odd to all Europeans in all regions. Number 10. How are you? Of course, there are regional variations on the question how are you in Europe, but the words how are you as a greeting is a relatively foreign concept to many Europeans. In America, asking, "How are you?" is expected to be followed with a short and concise, "Fine, thanks." The asker is simply being polite and almost never expects an honest or lengthy response. It's simply a way to say hello. However, ask a European the same question, and they may actually get into it, as this is rarely used as a form of greeting overseas. Number 9.
I think it's used here quite a lot.
Oh, yeah.
But a different inflection.
Yeah.
I
They
think
say, "How are you?" We say, "How are you?"
Yeah.
Don't we?
Or how you doing?
Yeah, how you doing?
Yeah,
Okay.
good.
You okay?
But I think we use that quite a lot over here.
Yeah.
Maybe not in like
I
rest
think-
of Europe, Germany, France, Spain, whatever. But
Because they speak different languages, so.
no, but they say it in their own language,
How
don't
are
they?
you?
They have got those words in their language,
I'm joking.
The measurement system. To most of Europe, and most of the world for that matter, the United States' use of the imperial system is simply mind-boggling. Most of the world has adopted the metric system, but the United States remains one of the few areas of the world to stick with imperial. Of course, there are a few exceptions. For example, the imperial system is still widely used by the British, despite metric being the official system, with imperial units still commonly used for things like speed, road signs, distance, weight, and volume. However, a large majority of Europe employs the metric system, and to them, things like feet and miles are completely foreign concepts. Number 8.
Yeah, go along with that.
I feel bad for anyone that tries to understand how we do it in this country
Well, we
without
use-
actually knowing about it.
Yeah.
We use both, don't we?
We use both.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
It depends what it is.
I don't think we grew up at a time where they're trying to change over to metric, so we sort of understand both things as well, don't we? We've got a bit of a fair idea.
I've just always
what's
known
what.
metric, but then I weigh
you?
myself. I
Ah,
weigh
right,
myself
okay.
in stone,
Yeah.
which is
That's
imperial,
a
isn't
proper
it?
British thing.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone else uses that anywhere in the world, do they?
What?
Stone.
No, they don't. Yeah, because in the US they just say pounds, don't they?
Yeah.
It makes a lot
Yeah.
more sense.
Well, kilos as well, but that stone, you can understand if someone says I'm like 90 kilos or whatever.
Yeah.
But if someone says like I'm 14 stone 8,
Yeah.
everyone will be like, what the fuck? What does that,
Oh, yeah,
even
good
mean?
point. Good point. Now, yeah.
But then you get drug dealers that operate in grams and ounces
Correct.
as well.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
I wouldn't know.
Pharmacies acting as convenience stores. In America, pharmacies and convenience stores are basically interchangeable. You can walk in, get a prescription filled, and pick up some beer and cigarettes while you wait.
That's
in
crazy.
many areas
Yeah.
throughout Europe and the rest of the world, cigarettes and beer are a huge no-no in pharmacies. In fact, before the mid-2000s, many European pharmacies were extremely strict. Even relatively harmless things like ibuprofen and vitamins were hidden behind the counter. While many areas of Europe have opened up the availability of drugs, it's still extremely rare to see cigarettes and alcohol right beside the prescription counter. Number 7.
I'm here
Yep.
for- I'm
That's
here
why pharmacists are fucked up over here, because they're missing out on extra sales.
Yeah.
It could be. Yeah.
I'd
yeah.
even go and pick up my own prescription if they had cigarettes and booze in there.
I mean,
Instead of sending someone else.
I mean, to be fair though, they do have pharmacies in supermarkets now, don't
They
they?
do.
So
Yeah.
technically, they are sort of in the same shop now, aren't they? But
Yeah.
but your separate that is just a pharmacy. They just pretty much have that, don't they? Like say,
Yeah.
they're missing out on a.
They're the
on a lot.
weirdest. They're the weirdest shops.
Pharmacies.
Yeah. Whenever you go in, it's just weird. When you go in, it's just awkward going in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Innit?
There is something awkward
It's
about
all
it.
the same people that work there, and
Yeah.
all the same people that are hanging around in there.
Yeah. They're trying to transition them to be almost like sort of doctors' offices now
Yeah.
a little bit, aren't they? Where you can go and get minor things
Yeah.
diagnosed by pharmacists
Yeah.
instead.
Yeah.
Well, I went in to pick up a prescription. This was a few months ago, and the guy behind the counter went, "Have you got a minute?" And then fucking come round the side, and then fucking went into a
Glove
room. And I'm like, "I'm here to pick up a prescription, mate." He went, "Yeah, I need to speak to you about something." I'm like, "What would you need to speak to me about?"
You got any tickets to the next City match?
yeah. So I went in. He says, "Just want to go run through a quick questionnaire." Mate, I ain't got time. I can just get the fucking drugs out and
Yeah.
let's go.
What do you think of your service today? Shit, let me go.
I just went. He's like, "All right, come here so I can get out with you."
Yeah, I like that we can go to like Tesco's in Altrincham and you can get your prescription for your heart medication as well as your booze, your cigarettes, and then go to the Greggs and have a
next
few
door.
pasties.
Oh, yeah,
that's
on the
in
way
there.
out.
Strict alcohol laws. When it comes to alcohol, few countries are as strict as the United States. Not only is alcohol relatively cheap in Europe, especially wine, but Europeans are also much more relaxed when it comes to alcohol regulation. The mandated drinking age in America is 21, and some states ban those under 21 from entering bars, even if they're not drinking. In Washington, possession of alcohol under 21 may even land you in prison. On the other hand, some countries in Europe, like Denmark and France, do not have a legal drinking age, and the minimum age for purchasing alcohol can be as low as 16. Public drinking is also often acceptable, despite being widely forbidden in the United States. Number 6.
I used to love trips to France and places like that when I was about 14. You just walk into a shop and you're like picking up loads of beer. No one ever bats an eyelid.
To be fair, I probably do find that one a bit strange, that you have to be 21 to get alcohol and not 18. 18, you're an adult, aren't you?
Yeah.
Pretty much any country in the world, I guess you're classed as an adult.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they have different ages for certain other things, but 18 is pretty much you're an adult, and so you should be able to do what you want, really.
In Pakistan, it's like 7.
I think if you can get married and you can join the army and fight for your country and you can drive a car and things like that, you should be trusted to drink alcohol. I think a lot of it with the States seems to be rooted in religious stuff, though.
Don't know.
And that, like, prohibition
maybe.
wasn't it? Wasn't it like the Christian wives? We did a video on it.
Yeah, I think there was a lot in that, wasn't there?
Yeah,
definitely.
I just wonder a lot of the conservative values about things. I do kind of attribute to religion a lot of the time.
I think over here, I think you can be, is it 12 to drink?
You can have
in a restaurant
with a meal.
A cider with
an
an
adult, I
adult.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you might be right there, yeah.
I'm not sure if it's 12 or not.
It's 12 or 14.
Something like, yeah, where you can have one. Yeah.
American patriotism. Patriotism is rampant across America. Flags are proudly hoisted on houses and lawns, the national anthem is sung at events, and some even take great pride in their weapons. Another hallmark of the American Constitution that feels alien to many outsiders. While Europeans undoubtedly love their respective countries of origin, the patriotism is nowhere near the fever levels exhibited in the States. National identity just doesn't seem to carry the same weight. While certain types of American patriotism may be on the decline in today's political climate, it's still undoubtedly a facet of American life for which there is no European equivalent. Number 5.
We've touched on that before, haven't we?
A few times,
patriotism and flag waving and stuff.
We tend to get it at World Cups for England football team.
Yeah,
that's pretty much it.
I'm wondering if you're going to see much of this time, because everyone's kind of against the World Cup.
Yeah, it's a bit of it just feels like a bit of a downer, doesn't it, at the moment?
Yeah, so no one's really up for it. Even in one of the competitions, one of the WhatsApp groups I'm on, they've run a competition, and the guy who runs it, organised it, sent a message, and he put, get your teams in for tomorrow. Before the start of the corrupt World Cup. So I think it's a general feeling across the board with everybody, isn't it?
I think it is, yeah. I think everyone's feeling pretty much the same way, which just shows how wrong they were to give it to them in the first place. Yeah. It's absolutely bizarre. Yeah. It's just an absolute joke. It really is.
Such blatant corruption that a lot of people are just thinking, why?
Yeah, exactly.
At least try and hide it a bit. I think they touched on the weapon thing there. I think that I was told this, so I'm not stating it as my own fact. I've got to say that before everything I say from now on. That Switzerland is one of the most armed nations on earth.
Really?
Because they all do national service and they get to keep their rifles at the end of it. I don't know if that still happens now or if it ever did. I was told by a German in Switzerland that he was invading.
Was he in the Navy?
No.
Was he in the Swiss Navy?
Wasn't in the Swiss Navy, I
mean, they're neutral anyway, aren't they? So they're probably never going to need it. But
they're radically neutral in
massive,
every conflict.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
They just cash all of the blood diamonds and the money.
Expensive post-secondary education. Quite frankly, post-secondary education in the United States is ridiculously expensive. According to College Board, tuition ranges between a modest $3,500 a year for a public 2-year college to $25,000 for a 4-year out-of-state to nearly $35,000 for a private nonprofit, not including room and board. These prices would be faint-inducing for most Europeans. In places like Austria, Denmark, and Germany, tuition is completely free for domestic students, while other countries like Belgium, France, and Italy provide tuition for less than $1,000 a year. Of course, there are some expensive areas, like the United Kingdom, where tuition can cost around £9,000 a year, which equates to roughly $12,000 US. Number 4. The healthcare system. This is a potentially controversial difference, but a difference nonetheless. Universal healthcare varies between European nations, with some being publicly sponsored and others publicly provided, but the fact remains that practically all of Europe is covered under the umbrella of universal healthcare. Countries like Austria, France, Italy, and the Netherlands, among many others, are covered under universal healthcare. America does not have such a system in place, with some even calling the idea of universal healthcare socialized medicine. Coverage has increased under the Affordable Care Act, and as of 2017, 92% of Americans had some form of health insurance. But only time will tell what the future holds for healthcare in America. Number 3.
Think we could see big changes in healthcare in this country over the next decade or so.
Has to change. Something has to give.
Yeah.
They waste far too much money.
Yeah,
Far too
it's
much.
billions and billions and billions, doesn't it? And we've seen firsthand of where some of it goes and everything.
Yeah.
It's
Shocking, isn't it?
yeah, oh, absolutely, massively.
It's just bleeding money.
Do you guys have private healthcare?
No, I don't anymore. I've been mine off.
What's the sort of cost associated?
I was paying about £800 a month.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then they doubled it. And I went, why have you doubled it? I've got healthier. They went, it's just what it is. So they had me for a year, and they went, fuck it, then I don't want it anymore then.
Yeah.
So they said, all right, we'll bring it back down to what it was. Went too late. I'm done.
Does it change with age and then other factors like, if you're ill health, then they'll put the prices up next year? Or
I'm guessing it does too.
Yeah, it goes with your health. Obviously, the more risk you run, I guess, of dying or being ill, the higher it's going to be.
Yeah, the older you get, that's the case, isn't it? It's the same. We've got insurance for our pet, our dog. It's quite cheap at the moment, but every year it goes up and up and up and up. Because that's when they're more likely to develop something wrong with them, so it just gets more expensive. So
yeah, I didn't realise how expensive dogs were.
Oh, they can be, yeah. I mean, vets bills and that can be absolutely extortionate, but you sort of it is what it is, isn't it? There's nowhere else you can go.
I was forced
DIY. No.
I was forced to take a guinea pig to the vet once years ago.
Forced.
Yeah, well, I would have put it in the bin personally.
Yeah.
But
Love it over next door's fence.
It cost. It was for an eye infection.
You went on holiday, mate?
It was an eye infection. That was literally it. Just like a bit of a crusty eye. I think it cost me £55 for the stuff to put in its eye. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
How much did it cost to buy it?
The guinea pig. I didn't buy
free,
it.
aren't they?
I didn't buy it.
Yeah.
No, I think they cost about £10 to buy, something like that.
Just take it for the injection.
Just at the pet. The injection would probably be £55 as well.
Shovel on the.
3. Such little vacation time. Vacation time is certainly a touchy and controversial subject in America. Many Americans do get paid vacation, but the allotted time is relatively limited, usually 2 or 3 weeks, and annual paid leave is not a right that many Americans enjoy. U.S. law does not guarantee a single day of paid vacation or paid public holiday, and as reported in 2012, only 77% of private employers even offer paid holidays. Countries in the European Union must provide their workers at least 4 weeks of paid vacation every year. Some countries, including France, Luxembourg, Sweden, and Austria, can allow up to 7 weeks or more vacation when including paid public holidays. Number 2. Prices displayed without tax. If a European tourist finds themselves in an American Walmart, they may find themselves a little confused when they go up to the cash and discover that the price is higher than what they read on the tag. That's because American stores display their prices before tax. Some states, like Oregon and Montana,
Are they saying that Americans don't have adjustable shower heads, or that they do?
I think they do.
And we don't.
I have got them.
They come with a vibrate function nowadays, don't they?
Number 1. Tipping. Eating out at a restaurant is an extremely different beast in Europe than it is in America. Not only are the portion sizes much smaller, but also the servers aren't constantly checking in on you, and you're not expected to leave a tip. However, if you feel like your service was simply magnificent and worthy of a little something extra, a tip of 5% is more than sufficient. However, American servers often rely on tips to make a living, and leaving a tip as high as 15 or 20% is generally expected. Not tipping your waiter is seen as a highly offensive gesture. We've all seen Reservoir Dogs. Do you agree with our picks? Check out these
5%, even over here, that's
slow.
Yeah, that's not a lot.
A lot of places have it on now.
Really?
Yeah, I've seen that.
Most places I go to now, it's
Really?
Yeah, it's added to the bill.
What did he put on, like 10%?
10%.
Yeah.
Between 7 and 10%.
Yeah. I'd guess around like 10%.
Yeah.
Pretty fair normally.
Yeah. I'm not asked, just whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just round it up, don't you?
Yeah.
If you've got good service, especially, why not?
Yeah.
I usually tip around 10% anyway if I go for food. But again, if it's if it's Weatherspoons, you don't.
No, fuck that.
But if you're
If he's giving you 10% back there,
Yeah.
that's what you need.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in an actual restaurant, I always tip about 10%, give or take. It depends what if I've got cash on me or whatever.
One thing about in the States is it still true that paper boys and paper girls, they throw the papers at the doorsteps? I've seen it on programmes and films and stuff like that, but did they actually do that?
Computer game you used to play.
Yeah, Paperboy.
Yeah.
Was it called Paperboy?
Yeah.
I remember that game.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
But my newspaper used to come in like a little plastic bag to weatherproof it.
Yeah.
Like rolled up sort of thing. And it could be anywhere on the drive.
Yeah.
Don't know.
So did you just literally just throw them out? And, right.
I think, somewhere in the suburbs or somewhere where everyone's got really long driveways and garages and everything like that. Yeah, if it's in a bag, makes sense to ride past.
Cars just driving down, just launching them out the window.
Yeah.
Driving slow and just throwing the papers out.
Makes sense.
Who reads newspapers now?
No, I know.
Well, that's it. Not many. My kids used to have paper albums like years and years ago where it's just like the local paper though. I just wish I had them then, so I could just go around. Because I actually go out round.
Man, did they deliver it? You know, we used to have that same local paper, right? Where we got paper. They give you like 2,000 papers and pay you like shit money.
Yeah.
So what we used to do, we used to go about 4 doors and then burn the rest.
we did something like that when we had taxi cards once. Me and my mate went around all like Hale Barns and stuff, posting quite a few, and I had a load left at the end, just binned them. Sorry, Dad.
That's what we used to do. Get paid for nothing.
Hey, I know, yeah.
My bro had a paper round, and I went to the same shop. It's the one opposite my uncle's old workshop. Do you remember Kev?
Yeah.
Big fat guy.
Yeah.
And I was 12, and I tried to get a paper round, and he said, "No, come back when you're 13." The day I hit 13, I just lost interest. I was like, I can't be arsed. But yeah, that shop used to stink so bad.
Did it?
All the kids in the back he kept chained up. Big Kev.
Or 13-year-olds.
Or 13-year-olds, yeah. Or wait until they were 13.
He had a healthy porn collection.
I'm sure he did.
Yeah,
he was
live.
Big fat guy. Big fat guy that just used to think nothing of sitting in his own shop farting all day, and then people would walk in and be like, rough.
Shut down now, I guess.
Yeah, he a complete side tangent, but he owned the strip of land behind it, and those offices that are next door. They started building the offices, and he went, whoa, what are you doing? And they said, we're building. And he said, that's my land. And the strip that they've done where you drive into the offices to go in that underground car park, he owned that.
Really?
Yeah, and he was like, no chance you're not. And they ended up having to pay him off some ridiculous sum of money because they were already in the project.
Yeah.
How did he not know that someone else owned it?
I think he probably was watching it all.
Right, just let him get on with it.
Yeah,
right, watching him.
I'll wait till the stage is right for me to go up.
Yeah, hold on a minute.
Yeah. That was good. That interesting.
Yeah.
Because it's. I don't think. I mean, a lot of them saying it's. What was it called?
Strange.
I don't think it's strange. I think it's just a cultural difference and some of the things.
Just a bit different. Yeah, we'll call it strange in particular. So. You
expected to tip, and your first thought is, how strange.
Hope you guys enjoyed it too. Don't forget, like and subscribe. We'll catch you on the next one.
Cheers. Guys.